Hi, welcome to AFTV. I've got Turkish with me. A 3-0 win, Turkish, against Southampton. A good result on paper, definitely. I want to ask you straight away, let's start with, what was your thoughts on the performance off the back of obviously 2-1 against Everton loss? I want to see a response from the boys. Are you happy with the performance today?
Overall, yes, I'd say. That first 20 minutes was probably the poorest I've seen us all season. Southampton had a few shots, nothing really that worried Ramsdale. But it feels like Xhaka and Partey both came on at the 20th minute mark and decided to stick to their positions. And then the game kind of turned. That's all we had to do, really. The space in the middle was open. Southampton were exploiting it. We covered that 20 minutes in, luckily not a goal behind. And between this good distribution from Ramsdale and good passing football out of the back under pressure, we scored the first goal. And after that first goal, the rest was history today. It could have been 6-7 by the end of it.
Yeah, what do you think was different today, Turkish? Because we went 1-0 up from a really good goal, like you said there, and we went 1-0 up against Everton, but against Everton, a lot of the time the boys just sat back. But today it seemed different. It's like we kicked into gear after the goal instead of sitting back like Monday night. What do you think it's kind of down to?
Everton are a better side than Southampton. They have a better manager than Southampton, and it was away from home. I think it's a mix of those three. All three adds a different type of pressure. So can't really compare both. Just because we beat Southampton 3-0 today, it doesn't eliminate what happened against Everton. I'm sure we're going to see that type of performance more often than not. It'll be away from home this season than it is at home. But, you know, this win against Southampton doesn't change the fact of the matter. And that is 3 poor away performances against Liverpool, United and lastly Everton. It's good to bounce back. We bounced back after Liverpool at home against Newcastle 2-0. And we've bounced back, you know, after the United and Everton losses 3-0 against Southampton. We've got another home tie next against a side that's above us. Regardless of what happens with them and Burnley, they're going to be above us come that game. It's another big one. It's a big test. It's probably the biggest test at home since Tottenham. Tottenham were on poor form then. West Ham are on very good form. So it's another interesting one. Away from home, we've crumbled the last few times, typical fashion. Let's see how we do against someone who's vying for top 4 in West Ham, who in reality shouldn't be above us if we're talking about level, size of club, history and all of that.
Yeah, Turkish, is it important for, let me ask you this one, last year, this is kind of when that bad run from Arteta came. It was after, it was in middle of November, all the way up until Boxing Day. I think we went 7 without a win. Is it important that we continue this winning momentum from this game going forward? Because we don't want to see another run of just poor performances or defeats, because I don't think the manager's actually going anywhere unless something catastrophic happens with the performances and the results. So is it very important that we can continue this?
It's a double-edged sword, man. In reality, if you look at it on paper, Arsenal Football Club are not where they should be. But the reality is other clubs in and around us going for the same positions, let's say, haven't been what they should be either this season. You look at Man United, you look at Leicester, you look at Tottenham, Everton. In terms of top 6, top 4, those teams would have been in and around that conversation. So Arteta's still here. He probably got luck on his side there because the table tells a different picture than Arsenal have been poor this season.
Yeah,
if you look at the table alone, if you look at the table alone and some of our predictions coming into the season, I think most of us are content. I can't say happy because you should never be happy with Arsenal Football Club not in and around the title challenge, but we're content because we didn't expect to be in and around the top 4. Never mind May, but even in December for me. So we are there. But at the same time, we've seen us slip up in a similar fashion against teams away from home that we've seen in the past. So what we've got to do in the next 4, before this Southampton game, I said Southampton, West Ham, Leeds, Norwich, Wolves, we should be looking at 15 points. I think, again, we'd be content with maybe 13 points. But taking any L's against these sides, even with West Ham in top form, I'll look at that and say, well, you know, Moyes, Arteta both had similar amount of times at each club. One's performing better. They've just, you know, pulled something from us at the Emirates. Hopefully, I'm not saying that after the game, but, you know, we'll see. We have to take it game by game. I know there's a lot of flip-flopping and what it is at Arsenal Football Club right now is there's so many different problems that people tend to fight for the problem they believe is the biggest.
Problems, Turkish, or excuses that people are making for where we're at?
Well, okay, so Kroenke is a problem. Vinay is a problem. Edu and Arteta are inexperienced, but I wouldn't say they're as big a problem as, let's say, a Kroenke or in turn a Vinay. And then you got, for example, Oba today and the disciplinary breach, and not in similar fashion, but a similar thing happened against Tottenham last season
March,
last minute he got left out. We went on to win the game, and it wasn't really spoken much about. Today the same thing happened, but today Alba comes into this game out of form, and we've managed to pull out a 3-0 win at home, which probably is one of our better performances at home this season. So, as much as we won today, more questions than answers again. The more questions are, can we, do this to West Ham when they come? Because if we give West Ham that first 20 minutes we gave Southampton today, West Ham are more likely to score. They've got bigger threats, and they're more clinical, especially over the last couple of seasons. So we need to eliminate that poor patch, especially at the beginning of the games. What was different today is usually we start games well and then we peter out until half time. Today, we were poor from the get-go and then managed to get a goal and turn it around. So, like I said, more questions than answers. What happens with Oba? Captaincy again is
do you think that's the final straw? Because it might be a final straw to a lot of fans, and it might be a final straw for Mikel Arteta. I think in his press conference when he was asked about has there been any complications with you and Aubameyang this week, and he kind of shut it down by saying I haven't had any problems with any players this week. But I said, I know we've spoken in the chat before, I said I think I can sense there's been a little bit of a bust up between them two, and now we're hearing about disciplinary breach. Do you think it's the final straw? Do you think this could be a good way for him to lose that captaincy?
I think, listen, I always said that this first half of the season for Oba is massive because we gave him a big contract. He's our star man. And a year into it, he's dropped off in form. Now, in the summer, the next 6 months are vital. He's not on form. He's not finishing the chances he should be finishing. And then on top of that, it's another disciplinary / problem behind the scenes with him. Is it the last straw? For me, the last straw was the misses that he's been having over the last few weeks. From there, I've already said we should look forward now. We need 2 new strikers. Yeah. This is just another added, let's say, problem to the plate that kind of leads to that result. I think we have to look past Oba and Laka and a few strikers now. And captaincy-wise, now is the perfect time. It's a disciplinary breach. He's out of form. And to be honest with you, even if he comes back next game, after that performance, I'd expect him not to be in the starting 11. So a decision's got to be made about a captain. Who was captain today?
Lacazette, yeah.
Lacazette's going at the end of the season. So that's not a solution, and neither should it be a solution.
Yeah.
So I think from now till West Ham, potentially, hopefully, Arteta, pulls Kieran Tierney to the side and says, Kieran, mate, it's yours if you want it. And I expect Kieran to take it on, and then I expect hopefully Kieran to maybe shake things up, because it's all good and well having a strong character in the side and someone you look to as a role model and a leader. But if you don't give them that responsibility, it's hard for them to showcase it. Tierney has shown us that he has leadership qualities, but until we give him that chance, does he really, he won't make it his own. So I think we've got to make that decision now. So hopefully Kieran Tierney is captain come the West Ham game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for speaking to me, Turkish. I'll see you at player ratings.